So today I want to do just a driving impressions of what it's like to drive a 30-year-old Mercedes W202 c180. Like this beauty coming along here now. So I'll take it for a drive. And afterwards we can take a quick walk around and yeah, I'll tell you a bit about it. This is a very basic spec W202, one of the very early ones. It's a 94. Even though it's basic, it does have a driver's airbag, it does have ABS, it does have central locking that works. It's done about 286,000 Ks and really runs very, very well. We've done a lot of work on it. Put in a new radiator, new tires and wheels, new windscreen, all that sort of stuff. So it's really up to daily use, and I just wanted to take it for a drive and give you an idea of what it's like to drive a 30-year-old Mercedes in today's traffic and on today's roads. So let's close the window and wind up windows it is, which is great, they never break. 5-speed gearbox, get that handbrake off, and let's get into traffic here. So the first thing that strikes you is that it's, it really does feel like a very solid car. The steering's very nice and taut, and sound insulation's fairly good. Controls are very light. The accelerator's very responsive, even though it's only a C180. Stand to be corrected, I don't have the figures with me, but as I remember them, I believe it's about 90 kilowatts. About 172, 182 Newton meters, somewhere around there. I'll check and I'll just put it in the description of this video as well, just to confirm what it actually is. Let's take a drive down Old Seaview Road here. Let's make sure there's no cars coming. And for a 30-year-old car, it really does feel very nice. I mean, I often drive newer cars, and this arguably feels more solid. Very light controls. I love the gear shift in these. When they first came out, I bought one in '96, c220, an automatic, and then later traded that in about a year later on a c200, which had the later gearbox, the later automatic gearbox, which was a 5-speed instead of a 4-speed. And I love that car. It was really nice. I kept it, I bought it new, and I kept it for a couple of years before trading it in on an E-Class. And just a really nice, and I've loved it ever since, and I've owned many of them. And my favourites are always the basic models, the simplest in the range. Something with the least possible things. Okay, there's a good test of the ABS. There's a peacock crosses the road, would you believe? The beauty of living out here in the bush. Anyway, as I was saying, I've owned quite a few and I've always loved them, and yeah, it just feels nice. And what I was saying, sorry, before we almost ran into the peacock there, is that the basic ones are for me the best. The less to go wrong, the better it is. Electric windows, owning a spares business as I do, I look at the stuff that I get phoned for frequently, and what it always is the switch console that always fails. It gets wet, it gets dirt, the thing breaks, the window regulators break. And I look at what I've got a lot of stock in, or what I've got a lot of stock of, and a good example of that is manual window regulators. I've got tons of them. I never sell them. Nobody ever wants them because they never break. So, that's what I loved about this car. It doesn't have the wood trim, so because it doesn't have the wood trim, there's no cracked wood trim. They all crack. This doesn't. It's got aircon, so you've got everything you need. You've got the aircon, you've got the ABS, you've got airbag, driver's airbag, and you've certainly got enough power to keep up with modern traffic, and consumption really isn't bad at all. Round town, you'd expect about 9 litres, 100 Ks in these. Open road, if you take it relatively easy, being a speed limit, not gating it all the time, you're going to get less than that. So 7 or 8 litres, 100 Ks, which is really not bad for a 30-year-old car. And yeah, we're coming show for the time. Let's have a look here. See, it's pretty quiet inside. The phone obviously amplifies whatever sound there is, but subjectively anyway, sitting inside here, it's pretty quiet. Okay, brakes are good. Let's have a look here. Okay, we'll pull away. Wait a second, and then I'll accelerate. Okay, so I'll accelerate a bit harder now. Get the revs up a bit. And yeah, you know, driving a 30-year-old Mercedes like this is really possible. And you know, you look at a car like this, you're buying it for around 50,000 Rand or less. And firstly, what do you get at that sort of price these days? And secondly, what do you get at that sort of price with that level of refinement, where you can get in and confidently go wherever you want to go? You've got your ABS, you've got an airbag, you've got an aircon, you've got central locking, you've got all the basics. And it really does feel like as solid as a modern car. This particular one, I've always liked the look of 202s. This particular one's got 16-inch alloys off a W210 with very good tires. But you can see it's the early one, and the early ones have the orange indicator lenses. There again, I actually prefer them to the later ones with the clear lenses. And yeah, it's a really nice car. So if you're thinking of an older Mercedes, a W202 is really a very good option. It's a reasonable price. If you compare it to the older ones, you know, they're still very, very fairly priced, these cars. There's a lot on the market. Just be very careful of things like engine harnesses. This one has been done, but that's a very common problem with them. They use biodegradable insulation on the engine harnesses. So if you're buying an early one, particularly a pre-96 model, have a look at that. If you're buying a later one, 96 to 2000, have a look at the electronics. The electronics were a lot more troublesome than the earlier ones. But they're all relatively easy things to sort out. And once they're sorted out, you've got a really nice usable car for a very, very fair price. So yeah, any questions, please put it in the comments and I'll happily respond and help where I can.